Already started.
Oh,
Hey, Grandpa.
hi, Steven. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Right. What's up?
I have some questions about when you were in the army.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, were you a prisoner of war ever?
Did I what?
Were you a prisoner of war?
Yeah, for about, well, I don't know, 4 months or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
How were you captured?
Oh my gosh. See, there was such a thing as called secret line. That they had those dragon teeth on it, these concrete pyramids like, so the tanks couldn't crowd past,
Yeah.
Now, we stopped at that line, and there was old Eisenhower, and we were going to make the big attack. And so we started out at about 3 minutes later, an order come from Eisenhower calling it off. So everybody stopped that thing, but I was in a very advanced group, with the first 10, 20, 30 guys, and we crossed the secret line, about 500,000 feet or so. And as we went by, then we were getting shot at, so we dropped in those trenches, like, foxhole trenches.
Yeah.
And we stayed there, we waited. That happened, say about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Still dark. Well, it was at night. And gradually, when the morning come, we looked at American soldiers were all standing behind the tanks and all, behind the dragon teeth. On the other side of the dragon teeth. And we were on the German side. And so we waited there until about noon, I guess. And then the Germans noticed that we were there. They came out. What they do, if you're in a foxhole, then what you do, or say if there's a guy in a foxhole, what you do is tell your buddies, open up a machine gun and keep zapping, stripping the ground with the machine gun bullets. And so that gets the guy down. You stay down in the hole because the bullets are stripping ground. Then when they stop, well then what they did was send some guys off to the side, So they ran like hell while this guy was shooting a machine gun and we were pinned down.
Yeah.
And when they stopped with the machine gun, that guy standing up there aiming the gun at you says, okay, roast, creep the bung in the roast. Like, get the hell out, you prisoner of war, get out. Ha ha ha. That was it.
Okay.
That's the trick. And they train you that. When a guy's in a foxhole, you open up with a machine gun and scrape the ground, so the guy wants to put his head up. You don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Meantime, you set some guys and say, okay, run up to the side out there, get alongside there. As soon as they got to get there, you stop, the machine gun stops, and the guys are pointing down in the hole and says, okay, we'll shoot you right in the goddamn hole if you don't as much as resist. Nothing to it.
All right. So when you were captured, where did they take you?
Oh, no, first, because that was a secret line. They had big pillboxes there. So they took us in the pillbox and waited till they gathered a few more guys. And then they had about 4 or 5 guys. Then at night, they said, okay, carry the wounded and back you go. So we had to carry the German wounded, on a rack or something like that with 4 guys carrying 1 guy. And we carried at night. We would all night. We walked away from the lines, and then from then on, they took us into a gathering station where they had a lot of prisoners.
Okay. So when you were captured, what food did they give you?
Nothing the first couple of days. But then afterwards, when they got this sort of gathering, they gave us some soup which was made out of barley. Barley like wheat or corn or whatever. Yeah. It was barley soup, and it was mostly like flour and water plus barley, so it wasn't quite filling, but it filled you up like liquid, and that's about it. Then again, after they That was a gathering station. Then they marched us to the prison camp, and there they didn't feel it the first 2 days. They kind of figured that if you're well fed and so forth, you get ideas of escaping. But if you're half starved and you're weak like a weakling, you're not going to try to run away. So they make sure that you're practically half dead with hunger.
Did they give you any liquids?
Liquid?
Yeah.
Like what? Like soups, you mean? Or,
Like,
yeah. No,
like,
they gave us some soup with some little potatoes there and so forth, and a little chunk of meat or something. But we kind of shied. We ate it, but we shied because we all knew it was horse meat.
did they give you any water or anything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was winter, so all you had to do was just run your hand on the snow and put in your mouth, So I didn't suffer a shortage of water at all.
When you were captured, what was going on? Like, did they work you or have you do any labor?
Oh, what they do? No. Once we got in the prison camp, they would tell us that we have to go work something, but we refused, so they did nothing about it. They didn't shoot us. They wanted us to fill craters that the fighter pilots would bomb the railroad,
Yeah.
So they'd want us to fix the railroad so forth. We'd say, heck no, that's why we're bombing. But I did go to work when they sent me out to some farmers, having us fill some burlap bags with some grain, with some wheat or oats or something like that for the horses,
Yeah.
Because they've used a lot of horses there, wagons and so forth.
So when you were in the camp, how were you treated?
Okay, they did nothing to us. We were barbed wired in and so forth, and they just stood at the guard at the gate and so forth. Our own men had to go out and get the food and so forth,
Yeah.
They bring out so much food for 30 men, and we'd all divide it up and so forth. But, no, we didn't even have to talk with them.
Okay.
They just left us alone. So there was no mistreatment.
So there's no abuse at all?
No what?
No abuse?
No, not to the American soldiers, Now this place, they call it Stalag 6. That was the name for that prison camp. And it was all barbed wire up. The Russians were barbed wire in one section, the French in another, the British in another, Americans in another. They were all barbed wired up. We could just talk through the fence, through the barbed wire, but all Americans were in one place, all French in another, and so forth. And the Americans had all the shots in the arm, for whatever. Smallpox, chickenpox, and all that. But the Russians and the others did not. So, boy, those Russians were dying fast, about one a day.
Okay. Where did you sleep, or stay? Like, were you in one single room?
No, they had this bivouacs just like in the army, just like it. And one bed on bottom and one on top, and so forth, and quartered inside the building. So we were protected pretty well from weather and so forth. There was no abuse, nothing I could complain about. It just feeding because they themselves didn't have the food.
Were you ever questioned?
Did I what?
Were you ever questioned?
Did I have a question?
Were you ever questioned? Did they ever?
Oh, yeah. They've questioned everything. But I didn't tell them much because I didn't know, because I was a private. And as a private, you know nothing. You don't even look at the map. I don't even know where I was. It just, go here, go there, do this, do that, dig a hole here, do this, do that. In other words, I was a zombie, just a deadbeat.
Okay.
So, yeah, they question and so forth, but as a private, you know nothing because you're told nothing.
Okay. So, what exactly was the reasoning that they captured you? Was it just for leverage?
Well, They took me as prisoner as a soldier would. But I held it against the American things for not notifying us on time because they sent us out. You know, about 10 of us as a squad, and we walked out, and god darn it, we got taken.
Oh.
But that's why I don't have respect for officers and so forth. To me, they're a bunch of jerks and so forth. They think about themselves, you know, they want to get promoted and this and that. In other words, it's a war, but the selfishness and the stupidity and stuff that goes within your own group is sickening. Because each one wants a promotion, and he wants to do this, he wants to... God, they don't seem to realize that you're playing with people's lives. Now, to me, it was extremely a low time of my life.
So, if you weren't doing any labor for them or eating, what were you exactly doing?
No, most of the time we just sat right there in this building. Just stayed right there, didn't walk out the door. Because if you walked out the door, they thought you're probably planning a group to run away or something, or escape group or something. So they kind of wanted you to stay right in your building and not walk out the door.
Oh, okay.
If you did walk out the door, it was just for the latrine.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much, Grandpa.
Oh, what you doing? You going to get some kind of steel or something, or what?
It's for a school project.
Oh. Okay, Stephen. Otherwise, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?